Hello everyone, it's the Silver Stacker here and welcome to the channel. So in today's video I wanted to talk about, is it best to hold your silver with or without gloves? So for me, I have some coins that are out of capsules for YouTube, and well, not only that, I just like to handle and really appreciate some of the coins, and I love the way it sounds when you slap it together like that. So I've got a bar that's quite rustic as well. It's only a 100 gram bar, nothing crazy, but it's quite a limited selection that I have that I keep out of the capsules. So for the most part, my silver is kept safe in capsules and I don't touch it. I literally unbox it, put it straight in a capsule. Certain coins that are on limited mintage as well, I just like to keep them safe and protected. So yeah, I do tend to keep them protected for the most part, but some coins I do like to have out just to play with. So I think it depends on what you're doing with your silver. If you're stacking it because it's a hobby and you just like it, then do what you want with it. It doesn't really matter. You just got to bear in mind when you do handle it with your hands, you've got oils and grit and things that can get on the coin and make it tarnish quicker. So if you're going to have some coins that you want to play with, pick out some coins that you have more of or that you don't really mind too much if they get tarnished. So you need to remember that silver's quite soft and it's very easy to damage. And when you pick up silver with your hands, you can get micro scratches from your hands as well as fingerprints. So you don't really want to be handling them if you can help it. I mean, if you have proof coins, I would completely avoid touching it at all with or without gloves. I would just keep it in the capsule, because at one time you touch it, you could get a scratch or a fingerprint and just immediately decrease the value of that coin. So I'd stick to the more common coins, like the bullion coins that aren't proof, the less valuable and highly minted coins like the Britannia. So I'm going to touch that all over. Yep, lovely jubbly. Chuck it on the metal, give it some scratches. So yeah, it's not a massive deal for me, but to some people, you may just want to keep them in capsules at all times, and you can still admire them from the capsules. So this one, for example, I absolutely love this piece. I want to keep it in as best condition as possible. So I'm going to keep that in the capsule. So again, it kind of depends on what you want to do with it. If you have pieces that you really like and you just want to touch them and play with them, just bear in mind that they can tarnish a lot quicker if you start handling them. Now, when it comes to selling, if you sell back to a dealer and it's tarnished and a little bit scratched, you're probably not going to miss out on that much. They might bring the premiums down a little bit. I mean, some of the rounds just get sold for spot as standard. Some of the government-backed bullion coins do get a bit of a premium on top, so they'll give you spot plus a little bit of premium. But the more damaged they are, you might get slightly less, but for the most part, you're not really going to miss that much, so I wouldn't be too concerned if that was the case. But if you were going to sell them on eBay or something like that, or a forum, and you wanted to sell them privately, I would definitely try and keep as many as you can in as best condition as possible, because you want the most for your money. And getting them covered in scratches and getting them tarnished, they can seriously decrease the value. And when it comes to reselling, you won't get as much as if it was brand new, fresh, and kept safe inside a capsule. Now, the downside is if you do wear gloves, it can make it a bit more difficult to handle the coin because you can't feel it. So if you'd like handling it by the edges, which is the way you should handle your coins, you can kind of turn it quite comfortably with just your hands. But when you've got gloves on, you can't feel what you're touching, and you can kind of see on the edge, you've got that dimpled edge almost. So it's just like a load of lines. It's like a security feature. But if you've got cotton gloves on, you can catch that and it's a lot easier to drop and damage them. So it does kind of depend again on what you're handling them for and if you want to handle them in the first place. Now, if you're like me and you just can't help yourself and you just want to touch your silver and handle it and admire it outside the capsules and have that sound as well, because it is a fantastic sound when you've got that silver clinking together. So if you are like that and you do want to just get in and touch it, just make sure that you wash your hands first. So I've actually washed my hands. I always do before my videos before touching my silver. But what you want to do is just handle it by the edges like that and just admire it, because when you touch the front, I mean, I'm not too fussed about my coin personally, so it depends on what you want. But for me, If I was going to keep my coins safe and protected, I would just hold them by the edges and just admire them like this. So in that way, you're going to keep the coin in as best condition as possible still. But when I'm doing YouTube, I like to really show the coin. I don't like to be too fussed if they clang together. Otherwise, I wouldn't have them sort of stacked up like this and touching. So it does depend on you and what you want, because not everyone's the same. Everyone has different opinions. Everyone holds silver for different reasons. Some people plan on just passing it down and it's still going to be worth at least spot value. So you're still going to be keeping that value regardless, but you just may miss out on slight premiums if you do get it covered in scratches and get it tarnished quicker. So that is something to bear in mind. Now, if you are going to handle your silver, make sure that you wear lint-free cotton gloves, as they are 100% cotton, and that is the best way to handle them without causing any real damage. I mean, you can still get micro scratches because on the gloves you can see there's kind of fine hairs of the glove that can just touch and scratch the edge of your coin. So you still want to be careful when handling your coins with cotton gloves. But for me personally, I'd stay away from the latex gloves. So some people wear them, but if you do, just make sure you get powder and lubricant free latex gloves, because the powder and the latex can seriously damage them. You can leave remnants on the coin, put them back in a capsule, whatever you do with it, and then that can slowly build up and make it worse over time as well. So just make sure you try and keep them and your hands as clean as possible if you're going to handle them. But if not, and you're going to use the gloves, make sure you get the right kind of gloves, because you don't want to be getting gloves thinking it's fine, damaging them and wonder what went wrong. So cotton gloves, eventually the oils from your skin can seep through. So if you wear the same pair all the time, still make sure that you wash your hands first. So that way you keep the gloves clean and minimal risk to damaging the silver. Just make sure that you keep them clean. So if you do notice that your gloves are starting to get a bit worn or they're not as clean as they once were, just give them a clean or get some new ones just to make sure that the condition stays good with the gloves, and that way you kind of minimize any risk of damaging any of your silver without even realizing. So just bear that in mind when you're going to handle your silver. If I was you, I'd avoid touching proof coins at all, whether you wear gloves or not. If you are going to wear gloves, make sure you get the right gloves. If you're going to be like me and have a few coins that are just out that you want to play with, don't really worry too much. Try and stick to the edges if you can, but if you just want to hold it and play with it, just feel free to do it. I mean, everyone's thoughts are different. Everyone has their own reasons for stacking and holding silver. So some people like to just get all of their coins out and enjoy it, but I like to keep all of mine in capsules, bar a selected few that I can just play with and not really worry too much about. Now, when I build my stack up some more, I'll probably have more coins out of capsules. So the more I have in my stack, the more I'll get out and start playing with on YouTube, as I won't be too concerned, as they're just coins for fun. So yeah, it all depends on you. So it'd be interesting to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you handle your silver with gloves? Do you handle it with your bare hands? If so, what are the reasons? Just because it'd be interesting to know what other people do. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two, depending on what you do or if you're really fussed or not. It's just something I thought I'd share, because when I first started stacking, I wasn't sure if I should wear gloves or not. A lot of people said it was vital. Some people said it didn't really matter. So yeah, it depends on you and what you want. But if you want the absolute maximum value for your silver possible, I would keep it in capsules. And if you do take it out of capsules, use cotton gloves and try not to do anything to the face. Just stick to the edges of the coin. That way you just preserve the details on the coin, and the chances of the silver being damaged are very slim at that point. But definitely don't do it to your proof coins. If you do, send me a video, because it'd be interesting to see that. But yeah, no, jokes aside though, if it is a proof coin, try not to touch it if you can help it. But yeah, anyway, don't want the video to go on for too long. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you handle your silver yourself? And if so, do you wear gloves, or do you handle it bare, or do you just put it straight into storage and not touch it at all? Because it'd be interesting to hear what everyone else does, because obviously everyone's different, everyone stacks for different reasons, and it would just be nice to know what everyone does and what everyone thinks. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching the video. I appreciate all the support. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one.